Hi, my name is Amy Lawson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am the brand photographer behind Amy Lynn Creative. I am based in Madison, Wisconsin, and this YouTube channel is just where I share tips and tricks for photographers and other business owners. Today, I am sharing how I quit my day job in 2021. But before I get started, I have a few disclaimers because I know you've seen videos like this before, and I want you to know that this might be the most boring video you've ever seen about this, but I want to be really upfront and honest that this is not this like, I quit my job and made $6 million 3 months later. This is not that kind of video at all. So if you're looking for that magical success story, this is not it. Please move on to the next video. Secondly, the way that I quit my day job won't work for everyone, and I'm very upfront and honest about that. I found a way that worked for me, but you're going to have to find the best way that works for you and your family and your business if you want to quit your day job in 2022 and beyond. And lastly, in the disclaimers department, I did not quit my day job to pursue a life of leisure and a hammock in a third world country. Okay, I quit my day job to continue my entrepreneurial journey, but like life of leisure is not really, that wasn't the goal here. So let's dig in. So a little bit of backstory. I started my photography business in 2015 because I had always kind of been passionate about photography, but was really feeling like maybe the 9-to-5 wasn't for me. I wasn't finding jobs that I loved, or I wasn't paid what I thought I should be paid, and I loved photography, so I started my business as a side hustle to make some extra money, with the goal of, 5-10 years down the road, make it a full-time thing, if I can make that happen. But honestly, if I'm being truthful, in the back of my mind, I really didn't think it would actually happen. I was in a job that I didn't totally love. I was a commercial flooring estimator. My background is actually in interior design. So I was sitting at a computer all day working with software. Really boring, to be honest, for me personally. I did have really great coworkers, and the job did work for me, but as my business grew, it started to become, I started to get more unhappy at work, and my business was growing, so I was not having enough time to put into my business. A quick editing note here. I was working on editing this video and thinking about, what is it that took me so long to decide to quit my day job? And the reason for that was I think I had this very set mindset of, when I quit my day job, it's going to look like this. So for me, that was work my full-time job until my business has grown enough to support us completely, and then quit the day job. And I was very adamant about not leaving my day job to find another one or adding a third job, because all of those things took mental energy away from the growth of my business, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to start something new and be out of the frying pan and into the fire with something I hated. So that's the reason it took me so long years, 4 or 5 years, to quit my day job, because I wasn't flexible in what that looked like. So the story I'm about to tell you is not quite what I envisioned, and that's what took me so long to pursue that path. So I'm just throwing that in there as I'm editing, because I'm hoping it will be helpful or resonate with someone watching this. Fast forward to April of 2021, I was burnt out, frustrated, and at the end of my rope. I had pivoted my business and niched down to brand photography, but I didn't have the mental or physical energy to put the time and work into it that it needed in order to grow any further. And subconsciously, I wasn't motivated to hustle harder because I had a day job, I had a safety net, everything was okay at the moment. Another disclaimer, I will never condone putting your family finances at risk to quit your day job. That's not okay. And that's something that you need to figure out, like how much you need to make before you quit your day job. I don't recommend just quitting. I also highly recommend the book Quitter. I will put a link to it in the description, but the book Quitter was a really good book that helped me get through those last few years at my day job. So around that time, I was talking to my pastor's wife, and she mentioned that someone else she knew had done a grocery shopping and delivery gig. And I knew obviously that gig work was a thing. I live in a city, but it really hadn't dawned on me that maybe that was something that I could actually do. First of all, because I don't love driving, so just picking up things and delivering them, like food delivery, just no. I have rules. And that was just not on my list of things I wanted to do. I wasn't quite desperate enough to do that, but as I researched the apps more, the app she was mentioning was Shipped. And that app, you actually shop for the groceries and deliver them. And I like shopping, and I like going on a little scavenger hunt to find stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe that might not be so bad. So I started looking into that. So the next thing we did was my husband and I sat down and did some math and figured out exactly how much money I would need to replace income I would need to replace if I quit my day job. So that was thing number one. And then I tested the grocery shopping gig for a few weeks in May of 2021 to decide if that would work for me. So I had to make sure that I could make the amount of money that they said I was going to make. And sure enough, I was making roughly the amount of money that they said I would make, and knowing that I would get better at it and faster at it and more efficient and make more money. So in June of 2021, I put in my 2 weeks notice at my day job, and I walked away from my safe, secure employment to be fully self-employed, because those shopping and delivery apps, they are gig work, they are subcontracted, so you have to keep track of your own taxes, your mileage, everything, and submit all that, set aside money for taxes, because they're not doing that because they're not a traditional employer. So I am fully self-employed. I would say the majority of our personal income, if I'm being very honest, is still coming from the grocery delivery. As I'm working on my business, growing my business, building stuff behind the scenes for my business. But quitting my day job gave me the time and the margin, both energy-wise and time-wise, in order to make that happen. None of what I've accomplished this year would have been possible if I were still working that day job. Grocery delivery, because my day job did not pay fantastically, grocery delivery actually on an hourly basis is a lot more. So that is the reason I had extra time. So that's the reason that worked really well for me. I totally understand that this does not work for everyone. And so I just want to be very upfront about that. But that is how I quit my day job. And what's really great about the gig work is that the schedule is totally flexible. And I can phase it out as my business grows. So that created this very nice gradual bridge to entrepreneurship, full-time entrepreneurship, instead of something that was a little less graceful. Quitting my day job gave me the schedule flexibility I needed. It gave me the time to work on my business, and it gave me the kick in the pants that I needed to really, really dig in and build some things and work on some things that I had been kind of procrastinating on. And for me, I really needed that motivation of, this is it. Like, you are paying these bills, and gig work definitely makes you more aware of how much work you're doing for the money that you're making. So that was another thing that worked well for me. Another thing I did to successfully quit my day job was I read the book Profit First. I highly recommend this book. I'll put a link in the description. That book, it is not hyperbole to say that book changed my life. Because if you're not great with money, you're not great at allocating your funds, or you feel like you never have enough money to pay yourself, read that book. It is a great book for creatives or anyone who's having trouble allocating their business funds. I did not make much more money this year than I did last year from my business, but because I read that book and allocated my money differently, I actually was able to pay myself for the first time ever this year. So that was a huge deal, and one of the reasons I could quit my job was because I could prove that I was actually paying myself from my business, and that helped my husband be okay with the decision. I will say it still stressed him out, and this is something that you need to discuss with your family, with your significant other, your spouse. We had to sit down and work it out, and he made a bunch of spreadsheets, and I had to test it out to help him feel as comfortable as possible with the idea of me quitting my day job, because he's very much a steady job, 9 to 5 kind of person. The other thing that made it possible to quit the day job, now that I'm thinking about this, is health insurance. So my husband's health insurance is very good. He has a traditional 9 to 5, and that made it much easier to make the decision to leave my day job. And that is something that you have to factor in as well. Can you afford health insurance? Do you have to go on some kind of alternate health insurance plan? Or is there someone else in your family who's covering health insurance so you don't have to worry about that? So that's how I quit my day job in 2021. Please comment below if you have any questions, or follow along on Instagram. On Instagram, I am that girl with photo tips, and I will see you in the next video.